In the black between stars, where even the Astronomican's light dies like a wounded animal, a tear opened. Not a warp rift, not a demonic vent, something older, something raw, something that screamed the language of pain and survival into the void. Through that wound in reality came a man who was not a man, a creature wrapped in flesh and steel, scarred beyond counting, carrying the weight of 1,000 forgotten wars in his bones, a wanderer of doomed futures, a beast made of memory, fury, and the refusal to die. The Imperium would name him many things over the centuries: Xenos, weapon, abomination, relic, monster, brother, myth. The Space Wolves would name him something older, something spoken in the Fenrisian tongue with a reverence they rarely gave anything not of Russ's line: Skarnofer, the Scarred Wolf. But before all names, before all the chronicles and propaganda and whispered Astartes tales, there was only the moment he arrived, bleeding into a universe that would hunt him, hunting in return. And the galaxy, brutal and ravenous, would soon understand. Some prey cannot be caged, some beasts cannot be broken. Some warriors do not die, they endure. Thus begins the chronicle of Logan, called many names, but remembered as one, the lone wolf of the 41st millennium. From the sealed field report of Inquisitor Castelvaran, Ordo Xenos, redacted by 7 independent authorities, the tear opened above the ice world of Thrym the Eight, a valueless Fenrisian moonlet, barely charted, barely worth a footnote in the Administratum archives. Yet destiny favors forgotten places. Imperial Auspex arrays recorded a distortion like a wound being torn open across dimensions. For a heartbeat, the void screamed. For another, the stars bled their light to a spiraling vortex of colors no human optic should have seen. Then something fell through. A body. Small by Astartes standards. Human shape but wrong in every reading. Dense, heavy, built like a soldier carved from the bones of extinct monsters. He struck the ice with enough force to fracture a continent's worth of frost. When the dust settled, 2 things were immediately apparent. He should have died on impact. He was already healing from it. First contact. The first Imperial boots to reach the crash site belonged to a detachment of the Vulca Fenrica, the Space Wolves, who were hunting a splinter of Tyranids rumored to have nested in the region. Their arrival was not chance. They felt him, not by psychic sense, not by Auspex, but by something older, a predator's intuition honed over Terran millennia and Fenrisian generations. The wolves found him kneeling in the crater, snarling at the cold, his breath fogging in the air like the snarl of some primordial beast. Naked, scarred, confused, his fists clenched so tightly that blood ran between the knuckles. When the pack approached, he did not speak. He listened. He smelled them before he saw them. Wolf-born, warriors, feral spirits caged in ceramite, kin. But the wolves looked at him with the caution they reserve for the most dangerous of Fenris's beasts. For beneath the man's skin, beneath the frost and shivering muscle, they sensed something they only felt in the presence of their own, the beast inside. Minutes after the wolves secured the site, the Inquisition transmitted its claims across encrypted Vox channels. The Mechanicus chimed in moments later. Both wanted the creature. Both were willing to kill to secure him. The wolves disagreed. What they saw in that crater was not a weapon, not a Xenos, not a mutant, but a warrior, one whose scars told of endless battles, endless hunts, endless survival. Yet Logan cared nothing for any of them. His first words through chattering teeth and feral growl were simple. "Where the hell am I?" They could not answer. And even if they had, Logan would not have cared, because he already felt it, the net tightening around him, the scent of men who wished to own him, to cage him, to dissect him. Once again, he was being hunted, and the Wolverine, newly fallen into a galaxy of monsters, did what he always did. He prepared to fight. The storm had not stopped since Logan arrived. Fenrisian winds howled across the ice plains, carrying razors of frost that could flay a mortal man to bone. The sky churned with clouds the color of bruised iron. Thunder rolled like the roar of ancient beasts. Logan stood waist deep in the crater he'd made, naked, bleeding, already healed. Steam lifted from the claw marks on his skin, the ones he'd left himself in the moment of impact, instinctively shielding organs that didn't need shielding. The impact had knocked memories loose. Faces flickered, voices echoed. Wars not fought in this universe tried to surface, but the cold focused him. He sniffed the air, blood, ozone, and wolves, not animals, warriors. Their scents were wild, ancient, steeped in battle and ritual. It reminded him of the Canadian wilderness he'd once called home, where predators knew predators without needing to see them. He muttered under his breath, "Whole damn planet smells like a hunt." The space wolves arrived. They emerged over the ridge like ironclad ghosts. 5 giants in blue-gray ceramite, their armor scarred by claws and Tyranid ichor. Wolf pelts draped their shoulders. Runes glowed faintly across their pauldrons. Their leader, Skorvald Ironblood, stepped forward. A massive frost axe rested across his back. His one organic eye narrowed at Logan. His augmetic eye whirred softly, struggling to classify what it saw. "By Russ," Skorvald growled. "This is no mere wanderer." The wolves descended the slope with the confidence of apex hunters. Logan stayed perfectly still, watching every movement. His enhanced senses screamed with information. Heartbeats slow, steady, disciplined, muscle fibers coiled with unnatural strength. Gene seed scent, almost but not quite human. A distant echo of the beast he felt in himself. Skorvald planted his boot in the snow. "What are you, little warrior?" Logan inhaled sharply, annoyed, cold, and still dizzy from dimensional displacement. "I'm freezing is what I am." The wolves barked in rough laughter. Logan didn't. One of the younger wolves, fierce with pride and itching to test himself, stepped too close. Logan's nostrils flared. The Astartes smelled of arrogance, ambition, and too many battles survived because others died first. The young wolf sneered. "This whelp is no threat." He reached out to seize Logan by the shoulder. "Bad idea." Logan didn't consciously decide to react. He simply moved. A blur of muscle, a flash of metal. 3 claws extended with a snick that echoed across the frozen plain. In less than a second, his adamantium blade stopped a hair's width from the Astartes' throat. The young wolf froze. Everyone froze. A mortal man threatening an Astartes was madness. But this man, this animal, did it casually. Logan's eyes burned with a feral gold. "Touch me again," he growled, "and I'll show you what happens to pups who play alpha." The wolves didn't draw weapons. They didn't shout. They didn't threaten. Instead, they smiled, wide, fanged, approving. Skorvald spoke first, voice rumbling with amused respect. "Ha! The little beast has fangs." The Imperium interferes, a shriek split the air. A descending Stormcrow dropship bearing the sigils of the Inquisition. Red warning lights flashed across the snow. Vox horns blared authority. Inquisitor Kestelvaren's voice boomed across the ice. "By order of the Ordo Xenos, the unidentified life form is to be secured and transferred for immediate classification and containment." Logan tensed. He'd heard these words before. Different world, different men, same cage. The wolves turned toward the ship, hackles rising. They did not move aside. Logan exhaled, annoyed. "Great. More people who think they own me." Logan looked at Skorvald, then at the young wolf whose life he'd almost taken, then at the descending Inquisition teams fanning out across the snow. He didn't know where he was. He didn't know how he got here. He didn't know why the universe hated giving him a break. But he knew one thing. He wasn't going with the men in black armor. He clenched his fists. The claws slid out again. His heartbeat slowed to the predator's rhythm. "Looks like I'm running again," he muttered. Then his eyes hardened. "But I ain't running from you wolves. Not yet." The wolves nodded, silent agreement between warriors. The Inquisition shouted warnings. Logan smiled, a cold, feral smile. Hunted again. Fine. Let them come. The Inquisition's Stormcrow gunship slammed into the ice with a hiss of venting hydraulics, its hull lights carving harsh crimson lines across the frozen crater. A ramp unfolded, disgorging squads of black-armored stormtroopers fanning out with precision, weapons raised, visors flickering with Auspex readouts. Their rifles tracked one target, Logan. He smelled their fear before they even spoke. Burned propellant, cold synth oils, the sharp chemical bite of nerves masked beneath rebreathers. And beneath it all, something he knew too well, the intent to capture, to bind, to break. The wolves sensed it too. Thunderwolf runes glowed on their armor as they stepped forward in unison, their massive silhouettes forming a living wall between Logan and the descending Inquisition kill teams. Logan spat on the ice. Figures. Different universe, same damn song. Inquisitor Kestel Varen strode down the ramp as if he owned the world beneath his boots. His rosette gleamed like a threat. His coat billowed in the storm winds. Servo skulls hovered at his flanks, recording, transmitting, judging. He stopped mere meters from Scorvald Ironblood. "Stand down," Varen commanded. "That creature is classified under Ordo Xenos jurisdiction." Logan's eyebrows twitched. "Creature, huh? Haven't heard that one today." Varen didn't acknowledge him. He pointed a data slate toward the wolves. "Step aside. The asset requires secure containment for threat assessment." Scorvald's reply was a growl that rumbled deep in his chest. "He is no asset." Varen's stormtroopers tightened their circle. "And yet he stands alive in a crater that should have vaporized him," Varen said coldly. "He bleeds metal. He heals like a demon. He is dangerous." Logan sighed. "Buddy, you ain't seen me dangerous yet." One stormtrooper moved too fast, stepping closer, rifle rising toward Logan's chest. It was a mistake. Logan's senses snapped into crystal clarity. Heartbeat, breath pattern, trigger tension, weapon angle, snicked. The claws came out almost lazily. He appeared behind the trooper before the man realized he'd moved. Rifle in two pieces, armor carved open in 3 precise lines. The trooper collapsed, gasping but alive. Logan didn't kill him, not because he couldn't, but because he didn't want to start a war. At least, not yet. He wiped blood from one claw. "Back off! Last warning." Varen's eye twitched, equal parts fury and intellectual fascination. The Astartes laughed again, laughed like this was the beginning of a good saga. Scorvald stepped beside Logan, frost axe humming with runic power. "You will not cage this warrior, Inquisitor," Varen sneered. "Astartes do not dictate terms to the Inquisition." Scorvald leaned in, one fang glinting. "We do when you trespass on our hunt." The phrase carried weight, ritual, authority, and the primal law of Fenris all in one. The wolves had declared Logan under their protection. Varen's servo skulls fluttered nervously. Documents rewrote themselves in threat-read script. "This is heresy," Varen hissed. "This is honor," Scorvald snapped back. Logan inhaled deeply. Cold burned his lungs. The storm's roar filled his ears. He didn't know these giants. Didn't know their wars or their world. Didn't owe them a damn thing. But they stood between him and the people trying to chain him. That counted for something. He took one step forward, towards Scorvald. Not behind him. Not hidden by him. With him. "Look, big guy," Logan muttered to the Wolf Lord. "I ain't looking for friends, but anyone who keeps me out of a cage gets my help." Scorvald grinned savagely. "Then you hunt with us." Logan shook his head. "I don't hunt for anyone, but I will fight the folks chasing me." Varen raised one trembling hand. "Open fire." Bolter fire cracked through the icy wind. Logan moved first, a blur of feral precision, claws carving through snow and steel, space wolves charging beside him like stormborn gods. The Imperium met the Wolverine's fury for the first time and learned he was no creature, no weapon, no classified biological anomaly. He was a force of nature, one that would not be owned, one that would not be caged. one that would carve his own path across the galaxy, even if he had to cut through the Imperium to do it. The battlefield erupted into a cyclone of muzzle flashes, roaring wolves, and the wet crack of ceramite meeting adamantium. Logan moved like a memory of violence given flesh. Bullets tore through him, exit wounds spraying crimson steam, but each one closed almost as soon as it appeared. A heartbeat of pain, then nothing. The stormtroopers didn't understand what they were facing. Their training told them to aim for vital organs. Wolverine didn't have any that stayed injured long enough to matter. He tore through their formation with surgical brutality, never wasting motion, never letting pain slow him, always pushing forward like a hunting cat that had finally found prey stupid enough to run. A gunner tried to flank him. Logan caught the scent before the soldier even got into position. Sweat, shock, fear. Logan pivoted, claws sweeping upward, snicked, shrack, shearing the rifle in half and sending both pieces spinning across the snow. The trooper stared, frozen, weaponless. Logan growled, "Kid, go home. This ain't your fight." The trooper bolted for the Stormcrow, slipping in the snow. Good. Logan didn't want to kill humans. Not today. The space wolves were a thunderous blur around him, charging, laughing, chanting death vows in the old Fenrisian tongue. To Logan's surprise, the wolves didn't direct him. They followed him. When he lunged, they lunged. When he turned, they shifted their line. When he roared, they answered with their own howls. Not partners, not allies. Predators fighting in sync through instinct alone. Skorvald shattered a stormtrooper shield wall with one sweep of his frost axe, ice exploding around him. "Ho, little wolf fights like a daemon." Logan snarled back, "I ain't little, and I ain't yours." Another stormtrooper tried to open fire behind Skorvald. Logan intercepted him with a tackle that broke armor plating with the force of a charging bull. Skorvald gave him a fang-toothed grin. "You'll say otherwise before this saga ends." Logan wiped blood from his mouth. "I wouldn't bet on it." Chaos and death painted the ice, the storm howling over screams and bolter fire. Varen realized something grim. His transport wasn't going to lift off. His kill team wasn't going to subdue the target. His authority meant nothing to the wolves. He slammed his hand onto a Vox Runic panel. "All units, activate Suppression Protocol 3. Deploy the null field." The Mechanicus crafted device on the Stormcrow's hull spat arcs of blue lightning. A shimmering distortion spread across the battlefield, a dampening field meant to weaken psychic and biological anomalies. The wolves staggered, snarling at the sudden pressure on their senses. Logan dropped to one knee, gasping. His healing slowed, his muscles trembled, his heartbeat dragged like something was strangling it. His vision blurred as the field crawled over him like a colony of electric insects. Skorvald swung his axe at the emitter. The field repelled him, cracking the ground beneath his boots. Inquisitor Varen stepped forward, triumphant. "Now you see. This thing, this weapon, is not yours. It belongs to the Inquisition by divine law." He pointed at Logan, who strained against the crushing field. "He will be caged, dissected, understood, purged or repurposed. That is his purpose." Logan's lips curled back in a snarl. He forced his claws out, slowly, painfully, each inch a rebellion. "You're a real piece of work, bub," Varen smirked. "Struggle all you like. The null field weakens anomalies, and you," he paused, "are the most anomalous creature I have ever seen." Logan's fingers dug into the ice. He could feel it, a familiar darkness stirring in his gut, hot, primal, ancient, the old instinct, the other side of him, the thing he always tried to cage, berserker rage. He hated it, feared it, needed it. His healing factor, choked by the null field, flickered with desperation. Pain surged through him like molten iron poured into his veins. Logan roared, not in fear, not in agony, in defiance. The wolves felt the shift. Their eyes widened. Their instincts screamed. A predator was awakening. A true predator. The snow cracked around Logan's boots. His muscles swelled. Blood boiled, healing accelerated, senses sharpened. His irises flared a feral, glowing gold. Varen stepped back, suddenly unsure. The null field sputtered. Impossible. Logan rose, slowly, thus painfully, hunched forward like a stalking animal, breath steaming in great clouds. The air itself seemed to recoil. Snicked, his claws extended fully, and he growled the words through clenched teeth. Even the cage you built won't hold me. Then he charged, a blur of fury and metal smashing through the weakening null field like it was glass. Logan's claws pierced the emitter in a single strike, shredding Mechanicus circuitry and sending an explosion of sparks across the ice. The null field collapsed instantly. Logan's healing ignited at full strength. Varen screamed, "Fall back! Fall back!" Too late. Logan was already upon him. He didn't kill the Inquisitor. Not yet. He simply knocked him aside with enough force to crack ribs and scatter servo skulls into the storm. The wolves howled in triumph. Skorvald bellowed, "The little wolf hunts!" Logan roared back, "I ain't anyone's wolf." But in the storm, his voice was drowned by gunfire and the pounding of Astartes' boots as the wolves charged beside him. And Logan realized something strange. For the first time in a long time, he wasn't fighting alone. Snow boiled beneath Logan's feet as he tore across the ice plain. The storm howled around him like an audience of restless spirits, but he drowned it out with the thunder of his own heartbeat. Behind him, the space wolves ran with the effortless gait of apex predators. No formation, no marching order, a hunt pack. And the strangest truth of all, Logan matched their pace. Not because he was as fast as an Astartes, not because of enhanced muscle fibers or Fenrician gene heritage, but because he refused to fall behind. The wolves sensed it, the stubborn grit, the refusal to yield, and they admired him for it. Skorvald Ironblood barked out a laugh as he pounded across the ice beside Logan. "You run well for one so small." Logan grunted, not breaking stride. "Keep calling me small, and I'll show you where I ain't." The wolves roared with laughter. Even in the midst of retreat, they found joy in the ferocity of their new companion. Behind them, the Inquisition regrouped. Vox Command shrieked. Last fire streaked through the storm. The air tasted of ozone and blood. Logan didn't need to look back. He could smell pursuit. He always could. As they ran, a younger wolf, Hark Redmane, spoke into the pack channel, his voice a mix of reverence and frustration. "Lord Skorvald," Hark growled, "the Inquisition will brand this a betrayal. They will not forget." Skorvald didn't stop running. "Let them remember. Let them curse our names. Better that than we hand a warrior to cowards who would cage him." Hark looked toward Logan. "He is no son of Russ, no brother of the Fang. Why risk wrath for him?" Skorvald didn't hesitate. "He fights with honor. He survives with fury, and he fears no man. Tell me, Hurrick, what more could a wolf ask for in a companion of the hunt?" Logan muttered under his breath, "I can hear all of you, you know." Skorvald threw his head back in laughter. "Good. Then you hear truth." A distant roar split the blizzard, engines high-pitched and angry. Logan felt it before he heard it. "Something's coming in fast." Harek snarled, "Land speeders. The Inquisition deploys their dogs now." Through the snowstorm, lights appeared, cold blue beams slicing the white out. Sleek machines skimmed the ice, stormtroopers firing suppressive volleys from pintle-mounted guns. The wolves snarled. Logan cracked his neck. "Guess running's over." Skorvald's eyes gleamed. "Then we make our stand like true sons of Fenris." Logan rolled his shoulders, claws snapping out with their familiar metal song. "Fine by me." The first land speeder skimmed too close, its gunner lining up a shot. Logan burst forward, sprinting with a ferocity that defied physics. His claws slashed across the vehicle's underside, shrack, canch, ripping through the engine housing. The speeder spun out, crashing into the ice in a screech of metal and fire. Logan didn't pause. He ripped the gunner from the wreckage, tossed him aside, and carved a burning panel off the hull. He wasn't killing. He was ending the hunt. Or trying to. Two wolves leapt onto the second speeder mid-flight, their mass slamming it sideways, claws and axes tearing into armor plating. They rode it down like a crashing thunder wolf, laughing as it exploded against the ice. Logan grinned despite himself. These guys party hard. Skorvald's voice boomed through the storm. Kill their engines. Leave their warriors breathing. They serve no honor dead. Logan snorted. Don't gotta tell me twice. As Logan turned to finish a third speeder, something felt wrong. A scent, a vibration, a shift in the storm's rhythm. He stopped cold. Wolf Lord, Logan shouted. They're moving in behind us. Harek spun, eyes wide. He's right. 2 more speeders incoming. Varen had set a pincer trap, and the wolves were caught in the middle. Bolter fire hammering one side, last fire spearing through the storm from the other. Speeders racing to cut off escape. Skorvald snarled. We must retreat to the ice caverns. Move. Logan blinked. Caves? What? Harek grabbed him by the arm and dragged him into motion. Follow the pack or die alone. Logan jerked his arm free, more out of instinct than anger. Fine, but if those caves smell like bear piss, I'm blaming you. Harek blinked behind his helmet. Why would they smell of? Skorvald cut him off. Stop arguing and run. The wolves bounded across a jagged cliffside and plunged into a yawning crack in the ice. Logan dove after them, just as last fire scorched the ground behind him. The darkness swallowed them, the storm muffled. The sound of pursuit faded to echoes. Inside was quiet, cold, ancient quiet. And in that stillness, Logan's heart slowed. He inhaled deeply. The cave smelled of frozen stone, old hunts, long-dead creatures, and something else, something deep, something sleeping, something watching. Logan's claws retracted with a soft click. He whispered, We ain't alone in here. The wolves looked at each other, then at him, and Skorvald muttered, Good, the hunt continues. The Imperium thinks Logan is cornered. They don't know the truth yet. You cannot corner a predator. You merely lock yourself in with him. The cave swallowed them whole. The storm's howl faded into a distant ghost, replaced by the slow drip of ancient meltwater and the low grind of shifting ice. The air inside was colder than the plains outside, a heavy old cold, the kind that settled into your bones and whispered of forgotten hunts. Logan's breath fogged in front of him. His muscles tensed, his senses heightened. Something was wrong. Skorvald noticed his stillness. Little wolf, why do you halt? Logan didn't look at him, didn't move. I smell something. Harek snorted. We all smell the cave. No, Logan growled. Not the cave, something in it. The wolves shifted uneasily. Fenrisians were no strangers to things that crept in the dark. But Logan's tone, that was the voice of a veteran hunter who'd learned long ago to trust his instincts. Skorvald raised a hand. All torches low, weapons ready. As their lights dimmed, the cavern bloomed with shadow. Ice walls shimmered like the ribs of some long-dead titan. The air vibrated faintly, but not with cold, with presence. Logan inhaled again, deeper. Metal, oil, meat, and something else. A faint musk he knew well from a past life, a predator's territory mark. This cave wasn't empty, he whispered. This is a den. Harek tensed. Of what? Logan shook his head. Not sure yet, but whatever it is, it's big. A faint scratching echoed high above. The wolves raised their bolters. Logan dropped into a crouch. His claws extended with a soft snick. The scratching grew louder, skittering across the ice ceiling, circling them. Skorvald's one good eye narrowed. Something tracks us from above, Logan snarled. No, it's testing us. The wolves formed a defensive ring, and then the ceiling cracked. A mass of pale white chitin and muscle crashed down with a roar that echoed like a dying glacier. Talons screeched across the stone, teeth bared in a maw large enough to swallow a man whole. A Tyranid ravener, a stray from the splinter fleet the wolves had been hunting. And it was hungry. The ravener lunged. Logan intercepted it mid-strike. They collided like two forces of nature, claws against scythes, teeth against armored carapace. The impact sent splinters of ice erupting across the cavern floor. Logan roared. The Ravener shrieked. The wolves charged. A storm of motion. Logan's claws slashed across chitin, sparks flying as metal met living armor. The Ravener struck back, tail lashing like a whip of bone. It impaled Logan through the stomach and lifted him off the ground. Horrocks shouted, "He's pierced!" But Logan didn't die. He roared through the pain, grabbed the tail embedded in him, and dragged himself down the length of the spike, muscle tearing, blood spraying, healing, knitting it all back together faster than it could kill him. He hit the ground, snarling. "You picked the wrong meal, bub." Skorvald leapt onto the Ravener's back, frost axe biting deep into carapace. Herrick slashed at its legs, knocking it off balance. Logan dove under its body and carved upward, adamantium tearing through alien flesh like wet parchment. The Ravener convulsed, screamed, collapsed, dead. Steam rose from its corpse. Logan straightened, wiping Tyranid ichor from his face. He didn't say anything, didn't brag, didn't thank anyone, just quietly resheathed his claws. Skorvald stepped forward, clapping him on the shoulder hard enough to bruise even Logan's reinforced bones. "You fought with fury, with instinct, with the savagery of Fenris itself." Logan huffed. "Yeah, well, Fancy Bug didn't leave me much choice." Harek looked between the Ravener and Logan, eyes narrowing behind his helm. "That creature struck through your organs. You healed in seconds. How?" Logan shrugged. "Practice." The wolves stared at him, then burst into wild, echoing laughter. Their amusement didn't last, because Logan wasn't done sniffing the air. The Ravener stank, but beneath its scent something else lingered, something older, heavier, wrong. He spoke quietly. That Ravener wasn't the owner of this den. The wolves turned sharply toward him. "What?" Skorvald demanded. Logan pointed deeper into the dark. "Something else lives here, and it just heard us kill its pet." A low rumble drifted through the cavern. Not a collapse, a growl so deep it shook frost from the ceiling. Logan's eyes narrowed, his heartbeat settling into the familiar rhythm of a man preparing for a fight he knew would hurt. He whispered, "Now that smell I recognize." The wolves raised their weapons. Logan raised his claws, and from the depths of the ice came two burning red eyes. The cavern trembled as the growl rippled outward, vibrating through ice older than the Imperium itself. Frost dust drifted down like ancient ash. Logan lowered his center of gravity instinctively, claws ready, senses burning. The two red eyes in the dark didn't blink, didn't sway, didn't breathe. They watched. Harrick Redmane whispered a curse in Fenrisian. Skorvald Ironblood lifted his frost axe. "The Rurvarg," he muttered. Logan flicked him a glance. "English, bub." Skorvald answered, "A Fenrisian night terror, ice stalker, devourer of packs. They say it can swallow a thunderwolf whole." Logan snorted. "Huh. Sounds fun." The wolves didn't laugh this time. The monster stepped forward, a grotesque titan birthed from nightmares carved into flesh. It was easily 4 times Logan's size, with a body of frost-coated muscle and layered bone plating like a natural cuirass. Ice-crusted fur hung from its flanks like ancient banners. Its jaw was a massive split maw filled with serrated fangs shaped for ripping through the armored hide of Fenrisian megafauna. Its scent hit Logan like a punch. Blood, frost, age, predator hierarchy. This thing was apex. Even the space wolves took a step back, instinct overriding centuries of gene-enhanced training. Logan grinned. Finally, a hunt worth of blood. The night terror moved without warning. No roar. No threat display. Just raw, perfect killing intent. It crossed 20 meters in a single bound. Logan didn't dodge. He charged. They collided with the force of a runaway landcrawler, the impact shaking the cavern. Logan slashed first, adamantium carving deep into the beast's shoulder. But it wasn't enough. The creature's hide was tougher than carapace. Logan's claws cut it barely, but didn't reach anything vital. The night terror swung with a paw the size of a freight panel, Crack! Logan smashed into an ice wall hard enough to bury him in a shower of shards. Harik shouted, "He is crushed!" "No," Skorvald growled. "The little wolf does not break so easily." From the broken wall, Logan's voice echoed, "I ain't little." Then he erupted from the ice like a bullet. The night terror roared so powerfully the cave walls cracked. Its breath rolled out in freezing waves that burned exposed skin. Harik leapt first, chainsword revving, plunging it into the monster's flank. The weapon bit deep, then sputtered and died. Ice flesh jammed the teeth mid-cut. The night terror's tail whipped around with bone-breaking force, sending Harik flying across the cave. Skorvald vaulted onto its back, frost axe swinging down with a thunderclap of runic energy. This time the hide split barely, blood like cold tar spraying across the ice. The monster bellowed. But Logan heard something else underneath the roar. Rage, fear, territory, pain. This thing wasn't just hunting. It was defending a nest. Something clicked in his instincts. "Skorvald, it's guarding something." "Then we kill it quickly," Skorvald snarled. While the wolves distracted it with high swings and leaping strikes, Logan dove beneath the beast, sliding across the ice like he'd done on snowfields back home. He slashed upward, snick shrack, and carved deep along the soft tissue between the night terror's plates. The monster screamed, buckled, collapsed to one knee. Logan skidded out behind it, panting. That got its attention. It spun with impossible speed, maw snapping shut around Logan. Chomp! And bit down. Hard. Its fangs sank into his torso, lifting him off the ground like a rag doll. Ribs crushed, lungs punctured, spine cracking. Logan felt everything. His healing factor fought, but the damage was catastrophic. The beast shook him violently, trying to rip him in half. Blood sprayed, ice shattered, wolves roared. Skorvald charged. "He is our packmate now. Release him." Inside the night terror's jaws, Logan's vision dimmed. His blood boiled. His healing faltered. His instincts screamed. And then the switch flipped. The world became scent and motion and fury. No thought, only kill. Berserker rage. Logan's eyes flashed molten gold even as his body was half crushed. His arms trembled, then slammed outward. Snicked! His claws punched through the creature's throat from the inside. The beast howled, gurgling, choking, dropping Logan as blood geysered from the wound. Logan hit the ground rolling, body mangled, organs collapsing in on themselves, and healed. Fast. Faster than Skorvald had ever seen. He didn't get up like a man. He lunged like an animal. He jumped onto the night terror's neck, claws carving furiously, tearing chunks of flesh the size of helmets. The wolves backed away, not out of fear, but awe. Logan ripped through bone, muscle, sinew. The beast collapsed, gargling its last breath. Logan didn't stop, not until Skorvald grabbed him around the chest, crushing Logan's ribs to restrain him as the berserker faded. "Little wolf," the wolf lord said softly, "the prey is dead." Logan's breathing slowed, his claws retracted, his eyes cleared. "I ain't little," he muttered weakly. Skorvald laughed thunderously. "You are to me." The wolves examined the corpse. Harik whistled. "Killing a night terror is a saga-worthy feat, but killing one like that," Skorvald nodded, "he is no mortal man, and the Imperium will want him dearly." Logan wiped blood from his mouth. "Yeah, that's the problem." He smelled something then, a scent wafting from deeper in the cavern. Metal, smoke, and machine worship oils. Skorvald smelled it too. The deeper tunnels, the scent of the Logan finished for him. Adeptus Mechanicus. Something metal groaned in the darkness ahead. Something. Powering up. Logan's jaw tightened. Aw, hell, what now? The echoes of the night terror's death still trembled through the ice when the deeper tunnels rumbled alive with mechanical resonance. Not footsteps. Not engines. Hymns. Monotone voices chanting Benheric canticles, layered atop the grinding of servo limbs and the clatter of steel on stone. The sound spilled from the darkness like a glacier awakening with malevolent purpose. Harik's nostrils flared. Tech priests. Scorvald gripped his frost axe tighter. No, not just priests. Logan smelled it now, too. Machine oil, sterile chemicals, crackling electric ozone, and beneath it, something biological, something mutilated. Logan growled under his breath. These ain't repairmen. The shadows opened, and they arrived. A procession of red-robed figures emerged, their bodies half-coated in frost, their limbs a tangled array of augmetics glinting with green witchlight. Servo arms clicked and writhed like metallic centipedes behind their backs. Their faces were a tapestry of tubes, masks, and flickering lenses. Skitarii Vanguard marched at the front, rifles raised, ocular sensors glowing like cold stars. Behind them came three higher-ranking figures. Magos biologist Thrym 27, a corpse-pale figure, most of his body replaced by vat-grown tissue and chrome. 6 mechadendrites hovered like hungry serpents behind his shoulders. Techno-arbiter Vosk more machine than man, his legs replaced with piston-driven stilts that stabbed the ice like spears. Engine seer Prime Olaric, clad in heavy plating shaped like a rusted cathedral, his vox emitted a constant, glitching chant. Scorvald's voice dropped to a deadly whisper. This is no patrol. This is a retrieval team. Logan popped his neck. Guess who they're here for? Harik looked at Logan with a mix of confusion and dread. But how do they know you exist? Logan shrugged. Been hunted long enough to know. The how don't matter. The who does. The lead Mago stepped forward, servo skulls orbiting his head like carrion birds. Zzz. Identity confirmed. Scarnal for variant biologica detected. Zzz. Retrieval protocol active. Logan blinked. Scarn? What now? Scorvald's face darkened. That is the name the wolves gave you. It means scarred wolf. They should not know it. Logan jabbed a thumb toward the Mechanicus. These clowns know too much of everything. Magos Thrym's mechadendrites pointed toward Logan. Subject displays anomalous skeletal metallization, adamantium-level hardness, unsanctioned. Subject's regenerative capacity, statistically impossible. Retrieval is mandatory, vivisection probable. Logan spat. Try it. The Magos tilted his head, metallic plates clicking. Affirmation, attempt will be made. Skitarii rifles rose. The wolves growled, forming a semicircle around Logan. Back off, Scorvald warned. This hunter is under our protection. Techno-arbiter Vosk's Vox unit flared. Illogical proclamation. Asset belongs to Mars. Logan bristled. Asset? I ain't anyone's property, least of all some toaster cult. Harik whispered urgently to Scorvald. They brought combat cybernetica. We cannot fight that in these tunnels. Scorvald didn't flinch. Then we kill them before they deploy. The ice floor split as something massive emerged. A towering silhouette of bronze plating, incense smoke, and glowing runes. A Castellan robot, repurposed for sub-zero conditions, stomped out from the shadows. Its chest plating bore the sigil. Retrieval support. Subject W137. Logan's eyes narrowed. They made a file on me already? I just got here. The Castellan's processor banks hummed. Target Xenos class. Capture priority extreme. Containment lethal if necessary. Its power fists glowed with crackling energy. Logan flexed his claws. So that's how it's going to be, huh? Scorvald stepped beside him, frost axe humming. We stand with you, little wolf. Logan shot him a look. I ain't little. You are to us. The Castellan charged, its fists smashing through ice pillars like rotten wood. Logan sprinted forward, sliding under the Colossus, claws raking at its armored joints. Sparks showered the cavern floor. The robot swiveled with unnatural speed, backhanding Logan. Crack, sending him flying across the cavern into a jagged wall. Logan spat blood, bones already knitting. All right, that hurt. Harik vaulted onto the Castellan's back, stabbing at its sensor array. The robot swung wildly, slamming into walls and stalactites trying to dislodge him. Scorvald waded into the melee, frost axe carving molten grooves in the robot's legs. Magos Thrym pointed a mechadendrite at Logan. Primary directive, sedate and extract. A needle-loaded appendage shot forward. Logan lunged, snick cleaving the mechadendrite clean off. The Magos reeled backward in shock, spraying machine oil. Error, unacceptable resistance, error. Logan spat oil from his lips. Buddy, you ain't seen unacceptable yet. The Castellan was turning toward Herrick, ready to crush the younger wolf. Logan's senses screamed, the metallic whine of charging capacitors, the shift of weight, the incoming strike. He sprinted, faster than most humans could see, faster even than some Astartes expected. He tackled Herrick out of the way just as the Castellan's fist smashed into the ground where the young wolf stood. Boom! A crater erupting in the ice. Herrick gasped, shocked. You saved me. Logan shrugged. Kid, I kill who I want to kill. Big Tin Can ain't on that list. Scorval barked a laugh even as he fought. He is Pack! Logan shot him a glare. I ain't Pack. But he didn't push Herrick away, and he didn't deny the instinct that made him save him. With Logan distracting it, Scorval seized the moment. The Wolf Lord hurled his frost axe with titanic strength. The weapon spun end over end. Hum! Crack, embedding itself deep into the Castellan's cranial processor. The robot froze, trembled, collapsed with a seismic crash. Logan exhaled, sheathing his claws. Nice throw, Scorval grinned. Nice tanking. Logan gestured toward the many injuries he'd already healed. Wasn't exactly a choice. Seeing their war machine felled and their Magos bleeding synth oil, the Skitarii moved into retreat formation. Magos Thrym hissed, This is not the end. The subject will be reclaimed. You belong to the Omnissiah's design. Logan's eyes narrowed. I belong to nobody. The Skitarii vanished into the tunnel's depths, the sound of their retreat echoing faintly behind them. The wolves caught their breath. Logan stretched his still reforming ribs. The ice cavern groaned around them like an old beast settling back to sleep. Herrick looked at Logan with new respect. Why protect me? Logan didn't answer immediately. He stared into the darkness where the Mechanicus had fled, then muttered, Something about this place, something about you wolves, reminds me of home. Scorval nodded sagely. Then stay with us. Hunt with us. Logan shook his head. Can't. People keep trying to cage me. Scorval placed a heavy hand on his shoulder. Then we kill those who try. Logan didn't pull away this time. Yeah, maybe. But then Logan sniffed the air and froze. More scouts, Imperial ones, they're closing in. Herrick cursed. Will they not stop hunting? Logan's expression hardened. They won't. He unsheathed his claws again. So neither will I. The cavern trembled as Logan lifted his head, nostrils flaring. His senses rippled outward through the cold air like a hunter's web. Scent traces, micro-vibrations, metallic airflow shifts, boot patterns. He spoke without looking back. Company's coming, and they're not Mechanicus this time. Herrick tensed. Inquisition? No, Logan growled. Heavier, smells like ceramite, incense, and something old. He didn't like that scent. It carried authority, fanaticism, sanctioned violence. Scorval stiffened. The Inquisition has called their Astartes assets. Logan raised an eyebrow. They got their own super soldiers too? Scorval nodded grimly. Not wolves, not hunters. These are bound hounds, zealots in armor, gray knights. Logan grunted. Huh, great. More silver-clad Boy Scouts with god complexes. He cracked his neck. But they don't smell friendly. Scorval answered, They never are. Torchlight bloomed ahead, runes flared. The chanting of battle psalms echoed through the ice. From the throat of the tunnel emerged 5 warriors, tall, silver, engraved with purity seals, fluttering like flayed parchment. Gray knight purifiers, psychic warriors forged to burn demons from existence. And right now, they had Logan in their sights. Their leader, Justicar Rios, raised his halberd glowing with psychic fire. In the name of the Emperor, Rios intoned, Stand aside. The beast is to be contained. Logan popped out a claw with a snicked. Beast? Pal, I ain't even warmed up yet. The halberd flared brighter, and now it speaks. Scorval stepped forward, frost axe resting against his shoulder. This warrior is under our protection, knight. Rios did not bow, did not blink, did not stop advancing. You protect what you do not understand, Logan snorted. Buddy, I don't understand me either. Rios' psychic presence pressed into the cave like a cold wind. Logan felt it, an intrusion, an unwelcome hand pushing at the edges of his instincts. He growled, "Get out of my head." The Justicar paused. You resist? Curious. Minds like yours usually break. Try again, Logan whispered, and I'll break your arm. Rios turned to Scorvald. This thing is tainted, possibly warp-born. Its nature threatens the Imperium. Scorvald growled. He is a warrior, more honest and pure of heart than many who claim the Emperor's name. Rios raised his halberd. Then he will die as a warrior. Logan stepped forward. No, I ain't dying. I'm leaving. Nobody cages me again. Not your Inquisition, not your 10 men, not your psychic glow sticks. A pulse of psychic pressure rippled from the Justicar. Then you choose death. Logan sniffed. Buddy, I choose freedom. The Grey Knights stepped forward in silent formation, each movement disciplined, measured, lethal. Their psychic halberds illuminated the cavern with ghostly flame. Logan cracked his knuckles. I ain't looking to kill saints, but you're making it real tempting. Rios answered, We are not saints. We are judgment. The wolves formed a wall around Logan, but Scorvald spoke quietly. Little wolf, if we clash with the purifiers, there is no turning back. The Imperium will brand us traitors. Logan's eyes narrowed. I didn't ask you to fight this fight. Scorvald shook his head. We choose it, because we choose honor. Logan looked at the wolves and didn't argue. Justicar Rios raised a gauntleted hand. Bind the creature. A psychic chain lashed out, pure warp energy manifesting like crackling lightning. It wrapped around Logan's wrists, sack, and pulled tight, burning through flesh and muscle. Logan roared, falling to one knee. His healing tried to fight the damage, but psychic flame burned differently. Scorvald snarled. Enough! He swung his frost axe down into the psychic chain with a boom of runic energy. The purifier staggered at the backlash. Logan pushed to his feet. All right, no more warnings. He breathed in deeply and let the animal inside slip its leash. His pupils constricted into feral slits. His heartbeat slowed into predator rhythm. Every muscle fiber ignited. Berserker rage. The cave shook. Rios whispered, Emperor preserve us. Logan launched forward, claws carving sparks off ceramite. He moved faster than most Astartes could track. Pure instinct, pure violence. A purifier barely dodged as Logan's claws tore a chunk out of his shoulder plate. Scorvald's frost axe swung down, meeting a psychic halberd with a crack that lit the cavern like lightning. Harrick sprinted forward, roaring, chainsword biting against silver armor. The purifiers chanted, Ignis, Puritas, Exterminatus, and psychic flame flooded the battlefield. Logan ran straight through it, skin blistered, hair singed, flesh peeled. Healing burned hot and furious. He tackled a purifier into the wall, so hard cracks spiderwebbed across the ice. The knight struck Logan across the face. Logan barely felt it. He drove his claws into the knight's helm and ripped it free. The knight dropped, not dead. Logan avoided vital organs. He wasn't a murderer, not unless pushed. Justicar Rios lifted his halberd, psychic fire swirling around him. You cannot defeat us, abomination! Logan's eyes glowed gold. I ain't trying to beat you. He bared his claws. I'm trying to get away. He slashed at the cavern wall. Once, twice, crack, bomb! A massive section of ice collapsed, revealing a chasm falling deep into darkness. Logan grinned. See you boys later. He jumped. Scorvald shouted, Little wolf! Logan yelled back, Stop calling me little! Then he disappeared into the abyss. The wolves looked at each other. Scorvald hefted his axe. We follow. Herrick blinked. Into that? Scorvald answered. Into that. And the wolves leapt after Logan. Rios stared into the chasm. One purifier limped to his side. Shall we pursue? Rios shook his head gravely. No. Why? Rios whispered. Because whatever that creature is, the Emperor does not wish it slain today. He turned away. Seal the cavern, report the wolves' treason, and pray this thing never returns. As the knights withdrew, Logan fell deeper into the dark, toward a new danger waiting below. Logan fell for a long, long time. Wind howled past him, ripping at his hair, his clothes, the blood crusting on his skin. The walls of the chasm flashed by in streaks of blue-white ice, carved over millennia by forces older than any empire. He didn't scream, didn't panic, he'd fallen from worse. But even he had to admit, this was a long drop. He muttered between clenched teeth, "Hope the bottom's soft." It wasn't. Boom! Logan hit solid rock, shattering it like a frag charge. Stone and ice erupted around him in a geyser of debris. Cracks shot out in spiderwebs across the cavern floor. He lay there for 2 seconds, then rolled his shoulders. Spine snapped back into place, lungs reinflated, ribs reformed. "Yup," he groaned. Still hate fallen. A second thunderclap followed as Scorvald Ironblood landed in a crouch that cracked the stone beneath him. Harik Redmane and the other wolves hit seconds later, rolling, rising, growling. Harik spat blood. That was farther than I expected. Scorvald wiped frost from his pauldrons. This was the only escape. The little wolf chose correctly. Logan got to his feet, glaring. Still not little. Scorvald ignored him and sniffed the air, then frowned. There is something strange here. Logan blinked. Strange how? Harik answered before his lord could. No scent. Logan tilted his head. What? Harik pointed around the cavern. This place is dead. Not silent. Dead. No air movement. No heat. No life. Even the stone smells wrong. Logan crouched, touching the ground. Cold, but not natural cold. Sterile cold, the kind you found in labs and prisons. His claws slid out. Where the hell are we? Scorvald raised his torch, illuminating the cavern fully. And Logan understood why the wolves smelled nothing organic. Because the cavern wasn't a cavern. It was a facility. Buried beneath centuries of ice. Walls of black metal veined with circuitry. Broken console screens flickering faintly. Runes of unknown origin glowing dimly. Tubes dangling like veins from the ceiling. Strange surgical instruments scattered across the floor. The wolves' breath fogged in the unnatural stillness. Logan stepped forward slowly, senses strained. Tech, but not mechanicus. This ain't their style. Scorvald nodded. Older, much older. Harik shuddered. Older than the Imperium. Logan sniffed a metal examination slab. His expression darkened. This place, it smells like death. Then he paused. No, not death. Something worse. Experimentation. Scorvald's grip tightened on his axe. I fear this is a lab of the ancients. Logan raised an eyebrow. Ancients? Harik answered in a whisper. The old ones. Those who lived long before man. Some say they created monsters without number. Logan slid his claws back in. Great. Just what I needed. More monsters. A deep hum vibrated through the chamber suddenly. Low electric, unnatural. Scorvald spun, axe raised. Harik leveled his bolter. Logan crouched. Something's powering up. Lights flickered along the walls. Consoles sparked. Runes glowed like cold stars. The largest structure in the chamber, a giant cylindrical stasis pod, began to thaw, steam hissing from ancient vents. Inside the fog glass, a silhouette moved. No, not moved. Shifted, like something that wasn't asleep, but waiting. Logan snarled. Oh, hell no. Harik stepped backward. Is that a Tyranid? Scorvald shook his head. No Tyranid ever built a prison like this. The pod lights flared. The silhouette sharpened. Human-shaped, armored, massive. Something clad in ancient warrior plate, older than the Imperium itself. Older than anything Logan had ever seen. A metal gauntlet pressed against the glass. A low, guttural voice vibrated through the tank walls. Release me. Logan stepped forward. The wolves stepped back. Do not touch that, Scorvald warned. Logan didn't stop. Something in there's alive and pissed. Harik shouted, Little wall, Logan, stop! But Logan ignored them. He always ignored warnings. He placed his hand on the glass. A pulse of psychic force blasted outward. Kaam! The wolves were thrown back. Logan stayed where he was, growling deep in his throat, claws halfway extended. The figure inside leaned forward, breath fogging the glass. It whispered, "I smell your blood, outsider. Your metal bones, your rage." The lights flickered crimson. "We are the same. Release me, and I will guide you." Logan's eyes narrowed. "I don't take orders." The figure's gauntlet tightened. "Not orders. Truth." The pod groaned. Metal buckled. Ice cracked. "We were made for war, you and I, and there is a war above that needs you. Release me and survive." Logan paused. He hated cages. He hated prisons. But breaking others out? That he understood. He raised his claws, and the wolves shouted as one. "Logan, no! Yash!" He sliced through the pod locks. The tank exploded outward in a storm of steam and metal, and the ancient warrior stepped free, towering, armored, eyes burning like suns. He looked down at Logan. "You have freed me. I owe you a debt." Logan glared up at him. "Yeah. Then start talking. What are you?" The warrior's answer boomed like a war drum. "I am the last of the Azer-engineered legion, a relic of a war forgotten, and you, stranger, are not the only one being hunted." Logan's claws clicked back out. "Great! Another damn chapter in my nightmare." The ancient warrior turned toward the tunnels above. "Come, Logan. If you wish to live, your enemies multiply." He took one step forward. The entire cavern shook. Something else, something massive, was approaching from above. Logan sighed. "Son of a—" The cavern shook like a dying world as the freed warrior stepped from the shattered stasis pod, steam swirling around him like the breath of a slumbering god. He towered over Logan, 8 feet tall, wrapped in ancient armor etched with runes that shimmered faintly like northern stars. His helm retracted with a hiss, revealing a scarred face that looked carved from stone. Eyes like burning coals locked onto Logan. "You are smaller than I expected." Logan growled. "Keep talking and you'll find out how sharp I am." Scorvald stepped between them, frost axe raised. "What are you, relic?" The warrior's gaze shifted, recognizing the space wolf's sigils. "Adeptus Astartes? Yet not. You carry the scent of wolf and warp-touch strength." Then he turned back to Logan. "You, however, are something different. Something engineered." Logan's claws slid out with a snick. "No one engineered me who's still breathing." The warrior smiled grimly. "We shall see." Herrick found his voice first. "You said you are the last of the Azer?" The relic nodded. "The Azer-engineered legion, a proto-warrior caste created long before your Imperium. We were weapons forged to fight the primordial ones." Logan snorted. "Buddy, I've heard a lot of names for evil, but primordial ones is new." The warrior raised one massive gauntlet toward the ceiling, where dust and ice rained down. "They return. Your fall awakened them." Logan blinked. "My fall woke up some cosmic nightmare bugbear?" The warrior nodded solemnly. "Yes." Logan rubbed his forehead. "Man, I really gotta stop crashing into planets." The cavern trembled again, not from machinery, not from atmospheric shifts, but from something alive. Logan's nostrils flared. He caught it instantly. Many scents, familiar ones. Stormtrooper chem sweat, inquisitorial incense, Grey Knight psychic aura, Skitaria machine oil, and a new scent, metallic, aggressive, predatory. The warrior frowned. "They come for you, all of them." Scorval cursed. "We have little time. Logan, can you run?" Logan nodded. "I can run. The question is, can we get out?" The ancient warrior stepped past him. "Escape is simple. Survival is not." He pointed toward a sealed doorway in the cavern wall, a massive slab of black alloy marked with shifting runes. "This leads to the upper tunnels." Logan frowned. "Does it open?" The warrior nodded. "For me." He placed his palm against it. The runes flared. The door groaned, opened, revealing a long passage sloping upward. "Come," the warrior commanded. "We must move." Harik whispered to Scorvald. "We trust him? A relic of a forgotten age?" Scorvald answered. "He stands with Logan. That is enough." Logan raised a brow. "You trust real easy." Scorvald smiled. "You saved Harik's life. You fight with honor. You are as much wolf as man." Logan grumbled. I ain't a wolf. Harek quietly added, You are to us. Logan didn't answer, but he didn't deny it. Before they could enter the passage, a psychic force slammed into the cavern like a storm front. Ice cracked, runes flickered, frost blasted off the walls. Justicar Rios landed on the cavern floor in a burst of psychic flame, psychic wards glowing bright enough to illuminate the entire space. Behind him descended 2 purifiers, halberds ready. Rios pointed at Logan. In the Emperor's name, this ends now. Logan spat. Buddy, you really don't quit. Rios strode forward. You tore through my brothers. You wield powers unnatural, and now you awaken relics of pre-human origin? He raised his halberd. You are a threat to mankind. Logan growled. No, I'm just a threat to anyone trying to put me in a box. The relic stepped into Rios's path. His presence smothered the psychic aura like a wolf devouring fire. Rios froze. His psychic flame flickered. The warrior spoke. You carry the Emperor's scent, but you walk blind. Rios staggered back. What are you? A relic of your Emperor's age, a prototype, a predecessor, a ghost of a war that forged the galaxy. Rios's eyes widened. Impossible. The warrior leaned in. Then survive me. Rios attacked first, a burst of psychic fire and force that would have crushed a tank. The warrior raised one hand, the attack shattered against it like glass. Rios recoiled, shaken for the first time. No mortal can. I am not mortal. The warrior punched him in the chest, crack thoom, sending the Justicar flying across the cavern. Logan whistled softly. Damn, even I felt that. The purifiers charged. Logan and the wolves intercepted them. Steel met adamantium. Claws met halberds. Frostax met psychic flame. The cavern became a storm of violence. Harek shouted, Logan, the passage, go! Logan looked at the warrior, at the wolves, at the purifiers. His instincts screamed 2 things, run or fight. He chose both. He slashed through a purifier's halberd shaft, slid past another, ducked under a psychic blast, and sprinted for the passage. Move your asses, Logan shouted. I ain't dying in some damn prehistoric freezer. Skorvald roared. Wolves, to the passage! The wolves disengaged and sprinted after Logan. The relic warrior followed, blocking the purifiers with his own massive form. Rios pulled himself from the rubble, roaring, Stop them! But they were already through, the passage sealed behind them. A thunderous clang echoed. Silence. The upward tunnel was long, narrow, and trembling from distant explosions. Logan breathed hard. You got a plan, big guy? He asked the ancient warrior. The relic answered without looking back. Yes. What is it? The warrior glanced down at him. Survive. Logan scoffed. Damn, you sound like me. Before they could climb far, the tunnel ahead lit up, a glow of red and gold, metal shifting, heat blooming, a crackling hum. Skorvald hissed. That sound! What is that? The warrior's voice deepened. That, Logan, is what hunted me before your fall. Logan clenched his fists as the glow intensified. And what the hell is it? The warrior lifted his blade, a massive runic sword humming with ancient power. It is called the World Eater Construct, and it has awoken. The tunnel shook. A massive mechanical shape emerged from the glow, roaring like a dying star. Logan's claws snapped out. Great, another nightmare. Fine, let's do this. The tunnel lit like a forge. Heat blasted outward in a wave that melted frost, scorched stone, and forced even the space wolves to shield their eyes. Logan didn't shield anything. He stared straight into the inferno. A rumbling metallic roar echoed through the tight passage, vibrating in his bones. Massive gears turned. Runic plates shifted. Fire belched from vents like the breath of a mechanical dragon. The creature that emerged filled the entire width of the tunnel, a colossal quadrupedal engine plated in obsidian alloy, its limbs ending in molten claws. Its skull-like head glowed with internal furnace light, and its maw dripped liquefied metal like drool. Logan muttered, That ain't natural. The ancient warrior, towering, scarred, runic armor shimmering, stepped forward. It is not natural. It is the World Eater construct. A weapon built by my creators. Logan blinked. You mean the same geniuses who put you in a bottle? The warrior didn't turn. They built many things that should never have been awakened. The construct roared again, a furnace bellow that shook loose chunks of ice overhead. Skorvald growled deeply. This is no beast, no daemon, no alien. It feels wrong. The warrior nodded. It devours energy, heat, metal, flesh. It unmakes. Logan rolled his shoulders. Sounds like Tuesday. Without warning, the World Eater surged forward with thunderous force, molten claws gouging into the rock as it bulldozed through the tunnel. Oh, hell! Logan shouted, diving to the side. The warrior leapt upward, slamming his blade into the construct's back. Sparks exploded like fireworks. The construct didn't slow. It simply dragged him along the ceiling like a stubborn parasite. Skorvald and the wolves scattered as the beast barreled past them, roaring with superheated fury. Harek shouted, "This thing could level a hive city!" Logan snapped back, "Yeah, well, I ain't letting it level me." He sprinted after the construct, speed blurring into a feral rush. His claws clanged off its hind armor, snicked sparks showering his face. The armor didn't cut, not fully. What the? Is this thing built out of black hole spit? The warrior answered, strained. I told you, it devours. Your blades only disrupt its outer plates. So hit it harder, Logan yelled. I am. Skorvald leapt, driving his frost axe deep into one rear joint. The ruined weapon bit into superheated metal, black, glowing blue under the strain. Steam hissed, the joint cracked. The construct kicked backward. Boom! Catching Skorvald square in the chest and sending him flying. Harek fired bursts of bolter shells, but they melted midair. What in Russ's name is this sorcery? It's not sorcery, the warrior roared, swinging his blade. It is science older than mankind's first words. Logan grinned. Science? Great, let me show you the power of high school biology. He slammed his claws into the same weakened joint Skorvald had cracked. Snick, crack. The joint buckled. The construct stumbled. Ha! Logan barked. See? Science! The warrior grunted. You are insufferable. Thanks. The construct halted, then turned its furnace skull toward Logan. The jaws opened. Inside was not teeth. Inside was a miniature sun. Plasma ignited in a swirling vortex of annihilation. Harek screamed, Move! Logan snarled, Oh, come on! The beam fired. A torrent of white-hot destruction flooded the tunnel, vaporizing stone, melting ice, turning the world into a hellish corridor of light. Logan dove, but not fast enough. The beam caught him. His body ignited, bone, blood, muscle, everything turning to ash. For a heartbeat, he was gone. His corpse hit the floor, charred, burned, unrecognizable. The wolves stared in horror. Skorvald whispered, He fought like one of us, led his saga. Then Logan's hand twitched, skin bubbled, bone regrew, muscle reformed, hair sprouted. In seconds, he was whole again, breathing hard, but alive. He spat, Blood sucked. Even the warrior stared. That should not be possible, Logan smirked. Buddy, possible ain't in my vocabulary. Logan rolled to his feet just as the construct turned toward him again. He cracked his neck. I'm getting real tired of being hunted. The warrior stepped beside him. So strike back. No, Logan growled. We strike back. Skorvald and the wolves joined them, forming a feral line of fangs and fury. Brothers, Skorvald whispered, we hunt. The ancient warrior lifted his blade. Logan raised his claws. The construct roared its furnace roar. Logan answered with a feral snarl, Simon, let's dance! And together, Wolverine, the wolves, and the ancient relic warrior charged into the fire. The tunnel became a furnace. The World Eater construct stormed forward, melting the ice under its molten claws, its body roaring like a living star trapped inside cold metal. Every step shook the earth. Every breath was a jet of plasma venting from its furnace maw. Logan didn't flinch. He'd fought sentinels. He'd survived nuclear blasts. He'd been ripped apart by creatures with no names. This thing was just one more nightmare trying to eat him. He welcomed it. Logan sprinted first, claws out, feet hammering ice into shards. The space wolves sprinted next, their savage war howls shaking the tunnel. The ancient warrior strode in calmly behind them, every step radiating the gravity of a god forged from steel and old blood. The construct fired a volley of molten shrapnel, metallic projectiles heated to plasma, slicing through the air like meteor fragments. Logan twisted, rolled, and sprang upward, letting two projectiles pass through his shoulder and thigh. They sizzled inside him, carving through muscle, but his healing factor exploded into action, sealing wounds almost as fast as they were made. Scorval barreled through the storm, frost axe humming with runic power. "For Fenris!" he roared. Logan barked back, "For not dying today!" Herrick vaulted onto the construct's flank, chainsword screaming as it bit into the molten armor, only to melt almost instantly. He leapt away, swearing, "By Russ's Harry, the damn machine eats my blade!" Logan grunted. "Welcome to my life, kid." A second wolf hurled a crack grenade under the construct's belly. It detonated in a thunderous boom, shaking the tunnel, but the construct barely staggered. Scorval drove his frost axe into the same spot Logan had cracked earlier. The runes glowed icy blue, resisting the intense heat. The metal split. The construct roared, a sound halfway between metal shearing and a world dying. Logan leapt, planting both feet against the cavern wall and springing off like a missile, claws aimed for the exposed joint. Snicked! Shurak! He ripped deep, carving into glowing internal mechanisms. The construct staggered for the first time. The construct's skull swiveled, its furnace maw glowing white. Logan's instinct screamed, "Down!" The construct unleashed another torrent of sunfire, incinerating the tunnel, melting ice into waterfalls of steaming water, turning stone into glass. Scorval yanked Logan behind him just as the beam cut across their position. The Wolf Lord's armor glowed red-hot, runes flickering. He snarled with pain but didn't yield. "You are dangerous, little wolf." Scorval growled through grit teeth. Logan gritted his own. "Stop calling me little." The relic warrior stepped into the beam's path, not dodging, not flinching, taking it. His armor glowed with runes that blazed brighter than the furnace fire. Golden lines of forgotten technology pulsed across his skin. He raised one hand, catching the furnace beam like a man halting a rushing river. The wolves gasped. Logan stared. The warrior roared, "This is not the first world eater I have felled," and with a single swing of his runic sword, "Crow!" he cleaved the furnace beam in half. The construct recoiled, its maw sputtering. Logan muttered, "Okay, gotta admit, that was badass." The construct shifted its weight, armor plates opening to vent heat, internal coils exposed, molten hot but unarmored. The ancient warrior shouted, "The coils! Strike the coils!" Logan snarled, "Say no more." He sprinted, claws poised, ignoring the heat that blistered his skin and cooked the hair on his arms. His regeneration fought desperately just to keep his flesh intact. He dove beneath the construct, claws slashing upward. Snicked, snicked, shrack. Sparks exploded. Molten coolant geysered out like burning blood. Screeching metal reverberated through the tunnel. The construct convulsed, dropping to its knees, steam venting in violent bursts. Herrick yelled, "Logan, out!" Logan didn't move fast enough. A molten piston slammed into him, launching him across the cavern. He hit the wall so hard it cratered, ribs shattering, organs pulping. He groaned. Really getting tired of walls. But he stood. He always stood. The construct, damaged and furious, prepared a self-destruct furnace burst to incinerate everything in the tunnel. The entire passage glowed, the ice evaporated, stone cracked. Scorvald roared, "Brothers, now or never." The wolves surged forward. Logan sprinted, claws dripping molten metal. The ancient warrior charged, runic sword blazing. They struck as one. Logan carved into the coils. Scorvald split the core housing. The warrior cleaved the furnace heart. Boom! The construct exploded in a blast of white-hot light, but the warrior threw a shield of ancient energy around Logan and the wolves, redirecting the blast upward through the tunnel ceiling. The explosion tore a hole straight to the surface, sending a pillar of steam and fire erupting into the storm above. When the light faded, the construct lay in ruin, a melted heap of dead metal. Logan stood panting, body smoking, claws still hot enough to glow. He growled, "You done hunting me?" The ancient warrior placed a massive hand on his shoulder. "No, now the true hunt begins." Skorvald nodded gravely. "For the storm above has witnessed our defiance, and the Imperium will come in force." Logan cracked his neck. "Then let him come." He looked around at the wolves. "Turns out I don't mind the company." Harik grinned. "Because you are pack." Logan scowled. "I ain't." Skorvald clapped him on the back hard enough to bruise even adamantium-laced ribs. "You are." Logan didn't argue, but he didn't deny it either. Not anymore. The tunnel erupted into blinding cold as Logan pulled himself through the molten breach torn by the World Eater's death throes. His boots hit the surface snow with a crunch that felt impossibly gentle after the nightmare below. He stepped onto the open plateau and froze. The sky was on fire. Aurora-like streaks of red and gold cut across the heavens, warped by the aftershocks of the cavern blast. Thunderheads swirled around a widening wound in the cloud layer. Dropships, gunships, interceptors. A fleet of Imperial craft descended like a rain of steel-jawed predators. Harik stumbled into the frost beside him, staring upward. "Rust preserve us," Skorvald emerged next, frost axe gleaming. "They come for us, for Logan, and for the relic." The ancient warrior climbed out last, his silhouette framed by the burning sky. His runic armor reflected the flame shadows like an omen. Logan spat into the snow. "Lot of folks want a piece of me today." Skorvald growled. "The Imperium does not forgive defiance." Logan rolled his shoulders. "Yeah? Well, I ain't in the forgiving business either." The first wave broke through the clouds with shrieking engines. Inquisitorial storm ravens, Adeptus Mechanicus gunships, Grey Knight teleport flashes, and heavy Arbits landers with riot shield insignias. And then Logan smelled something else. Something worse. Burning copper, rotting roses, ozone, warp-touched musk. His lips curled. "Great. We got warp freaks too?" The wolf stiffened. Skorvald's face hardened. "That scent is no Inquisition force. That is chaos." Logan blinked. "Why the hell are they here?" The ancient warrior answered, "They sense the World Eater's awakening. They hunger for lost weapons. They hunger for me." Logan snorted. "Well, they can't have you. I freed you." Skorvald smirked. "You claim him as pack?" Logan glared. "Don't start." A storm raven strafed overhead, heavy bolters stitching the snow with explosive rounds. The wolves scattered as a volley hammered their position. Logan sprinted into the storm of fire, leaping onto a shattered ice ridge as the craft swooped low. He launched himself and landed on the gunship's hull, claws digging deep. The pilot screamed over Vox, "Xenos on the hull! Shake him off!" The storm raven twisted violently, bucking like a bucking bronco. Logan held tight, claws carving through metal as he ripped toward the cockpit. He snarled through gritted teeth, hate flying. Then he tore the cockpit open, crunch, dragged the screaming pilot out, and hurled him into the blizzard. The gunship spun, out of control, plunging into the ice far below. 3 more storm ravens descended, disgorging inquisitorial stormtroopers. They hit the ground firing. Skorvald charged the nearest cluster, frost axe cleaving through ceramite and bone in arcs of cold blue light. Harik vaulted over Logan, firing bursts that cracked visors and shattered joints. Another wolf smashed into a squad so hard the snow cratered beneath him. Logan dropped from the wreckage and landed in a crouch, claws extended. More gunships screamed overhead. More enemies poured out. They weren't here to capture him. They were here to eradicate him. Logan grinned. "Come on, then." A lavender flash of teleportation crackled through the snowfall. Justicar Rio stepped forward, psychic halberd roaring with flame. You should have died in the abyss. Logan spat blood. Buddy, that line stopped working on me about 100 years ago. Rios advanced. I will not allow this relic to escape. Stand aside, mutant. Logan bristled. I told you before, stop calling me a mutant. I'm something else now. Rios hesitated. Logan's eyes burned gold. The berserker rage coiled inside him like a bomb ready to blow. Harik warned. Logan, don't lose yourself. Logan growled softly. Might not have a choice. The air shattered. A tear of violet lightning opened the sky as a warp rift formed above the field. From it descended a corrupted gunship dripping with demonic flesh metal. Warp energy pulsed like veins across its hull. Skorvald snarled. The servants of chaos joined the hunt. Logan rubbed his temples. Seriously, is everyone in this galaxy allergic to leaving me alone? Demonic infantry leapt from the craft, crimson-eyed, snarling, armored in corrupted ceramite. Their leader stepped forward, a hulking chaos champion bearing a blade formed of warp fire and grinding souls. He pointed at the ancient warrior. There, the relic of the old gods. Then at Logan. And the prey who will not die, claim both. The wolves braced, the Grey Knights steadied, the Inquisition advanced, chaos charged. The ancient warrior's eyes blazed. Logan sighed. This is getting stupid. Then he cracked his neck. Fine. He spread his claws wide. You all want something? Then come take it. What followed was chaos incarnate. Grey Knights clashing with demonic shock troops. Stormtroopers firing blindly into the melee. Wolves battling all comers with savage joy. Tech priests unleashing arcane weapons. And Logan tearing through anything foolish enough to approach him. A chaos mauler fiend charged. Logan ducked under it, raked its throat, and shoved it into an exploding lander. A Grey Knight swung at him. Logan blocked the halberd with his claws and headbutted the warrior unconscious. A stormtrooper tried to net him. Logan dragged him into a chaos spawn. Everyone bled. Everyone died. Everyone tried to claim him. And Logan stood in the center of it all, snarling, I ain't belonging to any of you. The relic warrior cut through enemy after enemy with effortless precision, glowing runes shielding him from flame, warp, and steel alike. But then, a massive blast from a Mechanicus grav cannon caught him square in the chest. He staggered, dropped to one knee. Logan whipped around. Hey! He sprinted toward the warrior. A chaos champion lunged at him. Logan cut him down in one motion. A Grey Knight barred his path. Logan's shoulder slammed him aside. He reached the warrior, panting. You okay? The relic looked up at him. Logan? His eyes dimmed. Run. Logan froze. What? The warrior pointed at the sky. A massive shadow loomed through the clouds. Engines roared like a god's anger. Warp lightning flickered across its surface. A giant sigil burned across its hull. Skorvald's eyes widened. By the Allfather, that is a black ship. Logan blinked. A black what? Harik whispered. A prison for the most dangerous beings in the Imperium. Psychers, demons, Xenos, monsters. He swallowed. And you, Logan's throat tightened. Oh, hell! The black ship opened its hangar, and a voice boomed like a divine decree. Wolverine, you cannot escape us. Skorvald whispered. Logan, what do you choose? Logan's jaw clenched. He looked at the wolves, at the ancient warrior, at the burning sky. He whispered, I choose my freedom. And then he roared, we move, now. The black ship loomed above the plateau like a floating tomb, its underside glowing with psychic suppressor arrays and gravitic anchors that bent the storm winds around it. Thunder roared as its colossal shadow swallowed the battlefield. Logan stared up at it, teeth bared. I'm guessing that one ain't here to invite me to dinner. Skorvald's face hardened, one part fury, one part awe. No, little wolf, that vessel devours psychers and abominations, anyone they fear or do not understand. Harik murmured, and they fear you. Logan spat. They damn well should. A chasm split the ship's underside. Ramparts unfolded. Runes ignited like molten gold. A second wave of psychic pressure rolled outward in a shockwave that made every warrior on the plateau flinch, even Astartes. Only Logan stayed upright. His body trembled, his claws shook, but he stayed up. Rios, the battered Justicar, fell to one knee. By the Emperor? Such power! Scorval growled to Logan, "Run." Logan shook his head. "Not without you." Scorval snarled. "Logan, you must live. You carry the tale now." Logan snapped back. "I ain't running from this bub, especially not alone." The wolves stared at him. Logan realized what he just said. He growled, "But if any of you repeat that, I'll gut you." Harrick smiled under his helm. "As you say, packmate." Logan scowled. "I didn't, whatever. We moving or what?" A figure stepped from the hangar, shrouded in a cloak of living shadow, eyes burning with cold blue fire. Behind him floated 6 bound psychers, each chained to wards that bled warp energy. The figure raised his hand. The wind died. The snow stopped falling midair. Reality held its breath. Rios whispered in horror, "Lord Inquisitor Varens, the chain-bearer." Scorval's knuckles tightened around his axe. Harrick whispered, "Logan, run now." Lord Inquisitor Varens spoke, his voice echoing like 1,000 voices in unison. "Logan, called the Wolverine, you are hereby condemned under the Lex Imperialis. Surrender, abomination." Logan cracked his neck. "Yeah, no." Varens extended a finger. "Then you will be unmade." A psychic spear of pure annihilation burst forth, ripping through the air toward Logan. Logan didn't dodge. He couldn't. It moved faster than thought. It struck him, and for a moment Logan ceased to exist. His body dissolved into cinders. His skeleton glowed molten white. His soul flickered. Scorvald roared. "No!" Even the Chaos Champion faltered, staring in awe. Rios bowed his head. "It is done." The wolves howled. The ancient warrior closed his eyes, and then a spark. Logan collapsed to one knee, skin knitting, organs reforming, blood boiling back into veins. He gasped, stood. His voice was ragged. Was that it? A stunned silence washed over the battlefield. The Lord Inquisitor's eyes narrowed. "Impossible." Logan rolled his shoulders, bones cracking loudly. "You want to kill me, bub? You gotta try harder." Scorval stared at him with something close to reverence. "You truly are unkillable." Logan didn't meet his eyes. He didn't feel proud. He felt tired. "Let's get the hell out of here." The black ship descended lower, its gravity anchors tearing fissures into the ice. Psychic winds whipped across the plateau. Varens raised his hand again. "Chain bearers, bind him." The 6 psychers behind him moved as one, chanting broken, overlapping prayers. Ghostly chains shot across the field. The wolves moved faster. Scorvald intercepted one chain, cleaving it with his frost axe. Harrick smashed another with a bolter burst. A third chain wrapped around a wolf's arm. Logan severed it with a single swipe, roaring, "Back off!" But more chains came. Dozens, hundreds. Every time Logan cut one, 3 more took its place. Scorvald shouted over the psychic storm, "Logan, you cannot fight the black ship." Logan snarled, "Watch me." The ancient warrior finally spoke. "Logan." Logan turned. The relic raised his runic blade. "There is a way, but it demands sacrifice." Logan hesitated. "Yours or mine?" "Both." Logan blinked. The warrior explained quickly. "The black ships feed on psychic anchors. They cannot bind what they cannot locate. If I sever the warp path they use to track you, their chains will fail." Logan frowned. "Okay, sounds good so far. What's the catch?" The warrior's eyes dimmed. "It will cost my life, and possibly your soul." Logan shook his head. "No, I ain't losing another person on my account. Not again." Scorvald stepped beside him. "Logan, he is not wrong. If we stay, we die. If he acts, we escape." Logan clenched his fists. "This ain't right." Harrick whispered, "It is the only way. Let him choose." Lord Inquisitor Varens raised both hands now, the chains converging into a single catastrophic lash of annihilation. "Logan, submit!" Logan roared back, "I submit to nothing." The ancient warrior placed a hand on Logan's shoulder. "My friend, you freed me from my cage." He stepped forward. "Let me free you from yours." Logan's breath hitched. He didn't say don't, he just whispered, "Thank you." The warrior nodded. "Run, Logan. Remember your rage. Remember your freedom." He turned towards the black ship. His runes flared like a newborn star, and he screamed, "I sever the path!" He slammed his blade into the ice. A shockwave tore across the plateau. The psychic chains shattered like glass. The 6 psychers screamed. Varen staggered backward. The black ship reeled as warp tethers snapped. The wolves howled as the ancient warrior's body cracked with radiant energy and shattered, releasing a burst of light that blinded the battlefield. When the light faded, the relic was gone. Logan gasped, "Damn you!" Then Skorvald growled, "Logan, move!" The black ship recovered, its guns aligned. They had seconds. Logan turned, eyes burning with fury and grief. "Wolves, we're leaving!" And with the wolves at his side, Logan sprinted into the storm. The storm howled like a wounded god as Logan and the space wolves tore across the ice fields, boots hammering the frozen earth while the shadow of the black ship devoured the sky behind them. Last fire rained down in burning streaks. Gravity clamps tore fissures through the ice like claws raking the world. Logan didn't slow. Blood streamed behind him, then stopped, steaming as it sealed. His lungs burned, then cleared. His muscles tore, then rewove. He had been running from cages all his life, but this was the first time he didn't run alone. Skorvald Ironblood ran at his right, Hark Redmane at his left. More wolves behind them, a pack. He wouldn't say it aloud, not yet, but he felt it. Even now, with death hunting him from the sky, he felt it. The Lord Inquisitor's voice boomed like a god cracking the firmament. "Wolverine, you cannot escape the Imperium." Logan snarled, "Bub, I ain't escaped nothing yet. I'm just getting warmed up." The ship dropped lower, engines screaming. Ice buckled under the pressure field. Psyker wards glowed crimson, seeking his mind. The psychic weight pushed into Logan's skull like a drill. He roared and pushed back, the berserker rage burning through his thoughts like wildfire. The chain-bearer psychers gasped aboard the ship. He resists? Impossible. He is not a normal biological entity, Logan spat into the wind. I'm the Wolverine. A squad of stormtroopers deployed from a low-hovering gunship to cut off their path. Their formation was perfect, textbook, their aim pristine, but they weren't ready for the wolves. Skorvald crashed into the line first, frost axe cleaving through riot shields like dry bark. Harik tore through the flank, chainsword screeching, spraying snow and metal shards. Logan dove past them, claws first. Snick. Shrack, disarming 3 stormtroopers before their fingers even tightened on their triggers. The last trooper froze, staring. Logan snarled, "Go." The trooper fled. Harik laughed breathlessly. "You spared him?" Logan grunted. "He ain't the one trying to stick me in a jar." The hangar lit up again, brighter, harsher. Psychers screamed. Machinery roared. Lord Inquisitor Varens raised both hands. "Telemetric anchor! Lock on his mind!" A spiraling vortex of shimmering blue psychic tendrils shot down from the ship, swirling like a tornado of souls. They found Logan, wrapped around him, slowed his legs, tightened around his ribs like a boa constrictor. He groaned, falling to one knee. His healing faltered under the psychic pressure. His vision swam. Harik reached for him. Logan shouted, "No! Don't touch me! They'll grab you too!" The wolves hesitated. Skorvald growled, "We will not leave you." Logan roared through clenched teeth, "You ain't leaving! You're spreading out!" He forced himself to stand. Blood burst from his nose. Skin split across his arms. Psychic chains dug into his skull. But he stood. He inhaled. He let the rage come. Not all of it. Not the version that devoured reason entirely. But enough. Enough to break mountains. Enough to tear cages. Enough to shatter the mind that tried to shatter his. His heartbeat slowed to a deep, thunderous rhythm. His pupils narrowed. His senses sharpened to a razor's edge. He roared with the fury of 1,000 hunts. "You want what's in my head? Take it!" The berserker rage blasted outward in a psychic shockwave, golden fire erupting from his skin like a wolf spirit breaking its chains. The telemetric anchor shattered, scattering the psychic vortex like torn cloth. The 6 psychers aboard the ship shrieked and collapsed. Lord Inquisitor Varen staggered. "What is he?" Logan spat blood. "Not yours." The ground shuddered, a seismic shock far to the east. Herrick looked up. "A storm wall. The ice cliffs. Logan, we can use them." Skorvald snarled. "To the cliffs." Logan blinked through blurred vision. "What's the plan?" Herrick shouted. "We jump." Logan froze. "We what?" Skorvald howled. "We jump, little wolf." Logan muttered, "I hate this planet." The ice cliffs ahead towered like a wall of jagged death, a sheer drop into blizzard-choked mist. The black ship roared overhead, angling for a kill shot, weapons aligned. Varen shouted, "Anathema! You will not escape." Logan pushed harder, feet pounding, blood steaming, claws slicing the wind. The wolves ran beside him, their footfalls thunder on ice. Varen's final command echoed, "Fire!" A beam of psychic annihilation tore down toward them. Logan didn't think. He grabbed Skorvald by the forearm. "No dying today, bub!" Skorvald roared laughter even as the cliff's edge rushed up to meet them. "That is the spirit, packmate." Logan snarled one last oath to the sky. "You can't cage a Wolverine!" And together, the Wolverine and the wolves leapt off the cliff. The psychic beam missed by inches, carving half the cliffside into molten glass. Logan and the wolves fell into the blizzard void. The black ship lost them instantly. Its auspex scrambled by the blast and the raging storm. Varen screamed in frustration, Find them all!" But the storm swallowed their signatures. Logan was gone. A lone fishing hut flickered with firelight on the far edge of Thrimvade's icy sea. Inside, Logan sat on a chair far too small for him, boots steaming by the fire, a massive Fenrisian cloak over his shoulders. Hark stirred a cauldron of stew. Skorvald sharpened his axe. The storm outside howled, but inside there was quiet. Logan muttered, "Soup's good." Herrick smirked, "It is stew." "Yeah, that too." Skorvald grinned. "You fought with our pack. You bled with us. You saved us. You are wolf now." Logan looked into the fire for a long moment. He finally said quietly, "I ain't a wolf." The wolves waited. Logan took a deep breath. "But I'll run with you." Herrick exhaled softly, reverently. "Welcome, brother." Logan stood, pulling the cloak tighter. He looked out into the storm. "I ain't staying. Too many people want me dead." Skorvald nodded. "Then go, but your saga stays." Logan cracked a rare, small smile. "Just don't make it sappy." Skorvald's grin widened. Too late. In the years that followed, Imperial commanders spoke of a feral Xenos who tore through battalions. Grey Knights whispered of the unburned anomaly. The Inquisition classified him as alpha-level aberration, uncontainable. Chaos warbands railed at the unkillable hunter. The Mechanicus placed bounties on his adamantium skeleton. But the wolves? The wolves told stories by the fire, songs of a stranger who fought like a god and healed like the land itself. They called him Skarnofer, the scarred wolf, the lone wolf who refused chains, who leapt from the sky rather than surrender, who healed through impossible wounds, who stood with the Vluka Fenrika and lived. A legend, a phantom, a warning, a saga whispered across the galaxy. If you hunt the Wolverine, you better run faster than he does. The Imperium's official record excerpt from the Obscurus Sector Edict archives. The creature designated Aberratio Alpha X9907, colloquially named Wolverine by untrained personnel, remains uncontained following unauthorized intervention by the Space Wolves Astartes. The subject is extremely durable, regenerative beyond acceptable biological limits, aggressively non-compliant, psychically disruptive, capable of resisting telepathic binding, physically lethal in close quarters engagement. All records conclude with the same line. Subject is not to be approached without overwhelming force and psychic suppression. Capture priority high, survival probability low. Unofficial whispers add another note. He laughs when he heals. The Mechanicus mandate fragment downloaded from a corrupted Nuspheric fugue. Subject, W37. Status, most desirable contents. Adamantium osteostructure plus self-repairing biomechanisms. Potential, unlimited. No matter the cost. Retrieve the skeleton. All else is expendable. The tech priests dream of him, of metal that grows flesh, of blood that defies reason, of a weapon that does not obey. They do not dream pleasantly. The Grey Knight's quiet shame, from an anonymous purifier confession, sealed and archived under inquisitorial lock. He fought us, he wounded us, but he did not kill us. The creature showed mercy. We had none for him. Perhaps the Emperor sent him. Perhaps we were not meant to stop the wolf. The entry ends abruptly, scratched out by a senior inquisitor as heretical doubt. The Space Wolves Sagas, the tale of Skarnofer, sung by the fire priests of the Fang. He bled on our snow. He tore monsters from throat to spine. He fell into the abyss. He climbed back up. He fled a black ship and leapt from the sky rather than bow. The lone wolf who heals as the land heals. The Wolverine, our brother. In their mead halls, warriors boast, I drank beside him once. I saw him take a furnace blast to the chest. He spit psychic death back at the black ship. Fenricians retell the story with the wild exaggeration of pride. Wolves never forget a fellow predator. The lone wolf's path. Rumors carried by void merchants, hive scum, bounty hunters, and terrified survivors. Some say he wanders the stars. Some say he hides in the ice. Some swear they saw him take down a chaos hellbrute with nothing but claws and fury. A guardsman swore, he saved my squad, didn't say a word, then he disappeared. I ain't sure he's real. But if he is, Emperor help the next bastard who tries to cage him. A Mechanicus agent whispered, we tracked him once. All stories end the same. He heals, he fights, he leaves. The Imperium's greatest fear, an unaltered line of life, preserved only because a scribe accidentally marked it as non-urgent. The subject displays an unbreakable will. This alone makes him a threat greater than any recorded mutation. He will not bow. He will not break. We do not fear what he can do. We fear that he chooses for himself. A note is attached. Recommend myth suppression. Subject becoming symbol. The legend endures. On cold worlds and dying battlefields, soldiers whisper of him, the unkillable stranger with claws like lightning, the beast who hunts the hunters, the wolf who refuses the leash. Some call him a Xenos, some call him a daemon, some call him a lost son of Rus, but the Sagas, the truest ones, call him Skarnofer, the scarred wolf, the lone wolf of the 41st millennium. And when the enemies of the Imperium hear that name whispered through frozen winds, they feel something ancient stir in their blood. A warning, a promise. A hunter walks the stars, and he does not fear death. And so the saga ends, not with a corpse cooling on the ice, not with a hero crowned, nor with a villain broken. It ends the only way a tale of the Wolverine ever could, with a trail of footprints vanishing into the storm. The Imperium, in all its iron certainties, hates stories like his. Stories of things that do not kneel. Things that do not die. Things that remind men that the universe is larger, stranger, and far less obedient than their scriptures claim. They tried to bind him with psychic chains. They tried to dissect him with holy machines. They tried to burn him in the name of their distant emperor. But Logan is older than cages, older than obedience. He has lived under the boot heel of tyrants before. He has endured men in uniforms claiming sacred authority before. He has bled on battlefields that made even Astartes look small. And through it all, he learned one truth. You cannot cage a will made of adamantium. So he walks now between the stars, a ghost in the warped shadow, a myth in a galaxy of zealots. He fights when he must. He heals when he must. He disappears when he chooses. The wolves remember him. The Inquisition fears him. Chaos covets him. The common folk whisper his name as both omen and blessing. And somewhere on some forgotten world, A hooded stranger sits at a fire with a tankard of something strong. Maybe he drinks with wolves, maybe alone. Maybe he watches the stars and wonders if any place in the galaxy can finally offer him peace. And maybe, just maybe, when the wind is right and the night is calm and the old instincts stir, he cracks a small crooked grin and mutters, "Still ain't little." The storm takes him. The galaxy forgets him. The legend does not. For there will always be hunters. There will always be cages. There will always be wars. And when the next one comes, when the galaxy calls for a weapon that will not break, for a spirit that will not bow, for a fury that cannot be extinguished, the Wolverine will answer. Because that is what he is. And that is what he has always been. A lone wolf, a relentless hunter, a legend carved in flesh and iron. And if the Imperium is wise, it will remember his final gift. You can kill a man 1,000 times, but you can never kill a myth.